Welcome, everyone.
Morning.
Hello,
Morning.
happy
Welcome,
Monday.
guys.
Our latest episode of Monday Noosh. How's everybody doing?
Doing
Good,
great.
good.
Thanks for asking.
Still trying to wake up.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's like 11 a.m. So this week for our new shiz, we decided to keep it appropriate. You know, it's not 5 o'clock yet. So we all made our own juices.
A little juice to start our mornings fresh.
I actually
How
made
about
something
we all go
correctly, guys. Look at that.
Wow, Arash, you didn't put whole ingredients in that? You actually blended it?
I actually blended it.
blended, juiced. Okay.
Wow.
Great.
What's
And
okay,
it's
so
actually juice.
I'm proud of you. Maybe you're
Thank you.
learning.
Thank you.
I
So
just
what-
think he's tired of getting roasted from us.
Maybe. It's simple, basic things. So Mata, what's in your drink?
Watermelon juice and mint.
Watermelon and mint. Okay.
Okay, I did like a green detox since it's so early for me in the morning and I didn't eat breakfast yet. So I did green apple, celery, ginger, spinach.
Okay.
Very
Nice and
green.
healthy. Arta, what do you got?
Well, I was lacking on some ingredients, so I made it really simple and just basic carrots, a little bit of water, ice, and a little juice
Do you
out
put
of it.
milk in your carrot juice? Because I know some
No.
people do that.
Well, I don't really drink dairy milk anyways, but I had oat milk. I could have tried it, but I figured just to be safe, let me just go with
What's better, oat milk or almond milk?
Oat milk, 100,000%.
Yeah, I tried the almond milk first, and I couldn't do it. But then when I transitioned to oat, I had a
The
better.
Oatly
palate for
one
that.
is pretty good. I've had
I enjoy almond
one
milk.
type of oat milk.
You like almond milk?
Yeah, well, my cereal and stuff. I don't drink milk like a glass of milk. I just can't do that.
Oh, I can never do that too. But don't ever, this is my tip to y'all, because I tried it a bunch of times and it was disgusting. Don't ever get almond milk in your drinks at Starbucks. Their almond milk is not like normal almond milk. It tastes like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's bad. So I feel like
Maybe
that
they
ruined the
make
experience for me.
So I have in my juice, I got watermelon and grapes.
Grapes. Green grapes are
I wonder where you got the
Red
watermelon.
grapes. Yeah, Mata screamed out earlier that she's making watermelon juice, and I was like, wait a minute, I got like 3 pieces of watermelon here. Let me just
Not let
add
it go
some
to
grapes
waste.
together and call it a day.
Welcome.
That's
Thank
very
you.
summery.
Yeah.
Watermelon.
It is the middle of summer,
Fresh.
so
Yeah.
So I think with these juices are somewhat of a brain food to get us going about our topic today and some interesting things we're going to discuss.
Yeah. I think
I'm excited.
we should cheers first, like we always do every week.
cheers, guys.
Cheers to
Cheers, everyone.
a morning recording.
Some people worked out before,
Oh, it's
some
good.
people didn't, but we're not going to get into all of that.
You know what? I would like to say,
Our challenge of the week.
I have a reputation of always being late, and today I was on time. Arta knows. Even though my phone died in the middle of the night and I didn't get woken up.
That's
But-
true. That's true. I will give you that.
We also
And
extended the time for her though. So
You know.
that
we're
was
not
a
gonna-
mutual extension.
Mutual. Thank you. Arash and I agreed on that part. So, but I still got ready
Mutual.
on time. But I feel like it's like a whole challenge for me to even be able to wake up early. So that's a whole nother story. But
Or like wake up and go.
yeah, wake up and go. I cannot do that.
Oh, I can do that all day. I could be out of the door in 5 minutes if I really need to be.
No, I need to wake up and have like an hour for my brain to turn on. Like when I wake up for an hour, I'm like a zombie. Like I don't know what's
I
going
just
on.
like to take my time. I feel like, we weren't made to just go. Like
Yeah.
the animals, you need your
Like sometimes
Time to wake up,
you
stretch,
need your time to stretch and like think.
manifest all the things that's going to happen today for you.
Exactly.
See, my brain wakes up at like 7 a.m. and I force myself to sleep the days I can sleep. But let's say if some ridiculous client decides to call me at 7:30 in the morning,
7:30 in the morning.
7:30, it happens every now and again. It's not a
Who
regular
has the
thing.
audacity to call someone
These
at 7?
people are nuts.
So, but is it urgent or is it just something that can be called later about?
Oh, it could definitely be called later about 100%. So I'll see the phone ringing. I'll start talking out loud before answering it to get my voice right because you can't have that sleepy voice.
This is 30.
Okay.
That's smart.
Because you get to answer and say hello, or you can get that out of your system before you answer, and be your business voice, your customer service voice, your I'm a grown man voice.
Mhm.
Or grown woman.
You set the standard low and have just a regular voice all the time, then there is no sleepier.
That's not
Just
how I
one
roll,
monotone.
man. That's not how I roll.
That's not how he gets the business deals done. Not with
Alright,
the normal voice.
Arash is multifaceted, different personalities to go with different times of the day.
Oh, I'm a
Different
chameleon.
strokes for
You guys
different
all know it,
folks.
I'm a chameleon.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Armand said, it's a challenge for her to wake up in the morning and after going through college and being, part of the 9 to 5 crew, better part of a year now, I'd figure you would have gotten used to it. But
Nope.
I think, and I don't know what you guys think about this, is we should have a weekly challenge. And I have an idea for a weekly challenge, but I don't want to drop it just yet.
As long as it's like not waking up before 6.
It has nothing to do with waking up.
Okay. All right. I'm ready to go then. Give me the challenge.
Or eating undesirable things.
Now, it might be to your benefit to wake up
to that.
for this challenge that I'm gonna approach all of you guys with, but it's not a necessity. Recommended, not required.
Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, that's fine.
That's all I needed to hear.
So now
Not required.
you can't fake the challenge either.
Sips tea.
So there was a conspiracy over the last few weeks that aside from the time Arta was with me, I haven't had alcoholic drinks when we've had episodes where our noosh was, whether it was, what did we do? Wine and liquor and whatever else we had. So no way to prove that I didn't drink.
I'm sorry, which we have multiple ways to prove that you didn't drink that, sir.
Footage.
We have some unreleased footage. We have some audio recordings that we don't want to release just yet, right? We don't want to get too.
You're really gonna get me like that, huh?
We're not going to get too deep in it, but there is proof, there is evidence, and we will get the people to believe us.
Very ant. So now you're saying that a conspiracy is me not drinking. But what's a conspiracy theory that one of you can actually say, yeah, I believe that conspiracy?
Britney Spears.
What about her?
Okay. Let me pull up the facts for you guys.
Oh, here we go. Let's get into it.
Number 1, Britney Spears.
It's
Britney.
Britney.
Seriously. Are you
Britney,
Googling
bitch.
this? Are you Googling this as we speak?
Actually, I've been looking into her whole situation for the past week or two. I think I'm a little late. I think it's been going on for years, but I don't know. I've been living under a rock. I just found out about it. I don't really judge people based off what they post. So I never realized that the stuff that on her Instagram she posts isn't necessarily the most normal.
Yeah, I've seen her post the last not that I follow her on Instagram, but through news feeds and Twitter feeds.
Yeah.
It's a little creepy.
I thought it was creepy just to find out that she's dating an Iranian guy.
Oh, that's been going on for years.
I'll get that. I'll get to that point because
That was her bodyguard, right?
Personal trainer.
I'm gonna get to that point, but sources say that he's getting paid to date her.
What?
Mm-hmm. So let me.
Well, I
Phil,
need those
some
sources
more
to
tea.
enlist me.
So she's for sale.
All right.
I mean, that's literally what she's saying.
Yeah, so
I
when
think-
you have an abusive, drunk, alcoholic dad that controls every aspect of your life, then yes, technically.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's gonna get into it because I've been seeing a lot of TikToks on it and reading about it, but I'm gonna let Matt to take it over and say it because I also believe in it.
So first off, she's given an excess amount of antipsychotic medication to give her the appearance of being mentally incoherent. And this is so that she is submissive to the people, her lawyer, her dad, people that take care of all of that. She is under a legal conservatorship by her father and her team. And this has been going on for about 12 years.
Really? Okay.
Okay,
She
but
can't drive, she
around
can't
the time
shop,
she
she
had
can't
the-
retire, she can't marry, and she can't have children without the permission of that.
Wait. Hold on. A couple things. She already has children,
She had a son, but now if she wants to have future children, she has to get
and she can't retire.
wait,
no.
she has twin sons.
Yeah, she has multiple kids.
Right, but that was before the 12-year whole Britney 07 and 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has she dropped music in the last few years?
Okay, so this is the thing. Maybe through her, dad and them approving, but she, for the past few years, has been off the radar on that, and she's not putting out anything. So they have been taking all her costumes, they put it in a Kmart, I read, or something, and they made a museum out of it, and they charged $60 per person to go look through it. This
Whoa.
has nothing to do with her. This is through her dad and her lawyer who have chosen
The
to
most
do this.
interesting part of this was that they're still Kmart's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
what?
That's where you got me.
Right. And they've
Well,
been
yeah,
selling,
with that $60 attendance, I mean, they're thriving.
yeah. And then they've been selling merch that's apparently based off the reviews, really, really, really shitty quality. Just anything that they can sell that has her name on it, they're just still trying to do that.
Well, you know what? A similar thing happened to Kobe. Rest in peace. where he had beef with his parents for like a number of years, for I think almost 10 years, because they were selling his memorabilia for money.
What? His parents?
His parents. So this isn't the first time that a big time celebrity had parents with their hands in the pot behind their children's back, or in for lack of a better word, a shady manner.
How could they even like have the heart to do that? I don't know. Like I'm trying to think like our parents or even me as
Well, you want to assume that
They chose to raise their kids in Hollywood, though. That's the difference between our parents and their parents. Keep that in
right.
mind.
So these celebrity parents, let's call them, you would assume that the kids are taking care of them,
Right.
Right? Because we
Making
would
the
do that.
income.
We would do that.
Yeah.
If we had coin like that, then everything is taken care of.
Yeah.
Right.
No questions
Every
asked.
step of the way, we help out, right?
Right. Yeah. So this isn't uncommon, but what Matt is saying, it's absolutely ridiculous, the levels of this.
It's complete and utter ownership over a person. In a way, like you're just using their talent or name in order to profit of it for yourself, in every aspect of her life. Like Mata mentioned that she can't get married. I mean, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
to
because
have
they
a parent-
She has no control over her own life.
But my
Basically,
question,
she's almost like a puppet.
but my question is like, okay, if she's not allowed to release music and stuff like that, if her dad is doing all this to gain like to benefit himself and get money by using her, then wouldn't he want her to release music so that he could get
at the end of the day, they can't force her to sing. They can't force her to do anything. So that's why I was saying they've been trying to have like museums with all her clothing and like charge
Just
that.
put off her name. Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't need her per se anymore. They can just off the past
Because the brand is still profitable.
Right.
But I heard she's like not even allowed to make music.
Well, let me get there. So, in 2019, she refused to take the extra medications that they put her on, and outside of her bipolar medication.
Right.
So they threw her into a 1-star mental facility in LA for 3 months, and
Who is they? Who put her?
her dad and her lawyer put her into that. Her phone and her social media are heavily monitored, and there's leaked 911 calls of her referring to her father's blackmail.
Okay.
I'm going through her Instagram right now. It's a little creepy.
Yeah, there's
Now I'm intrigued.
her mom tried speaking out about this. Tinashe tried speaking out about this. Even people, her co-stars, people she used to work with before, and somehow all of their posts got deleted. There's leaked 911 calls of her speaking about her father and his blackmail. And recently, there was a TikTok where someone commented and said, Brittany, if you need help, wear a yellow top in your next post. And she did.
And the weird thing about that TikTok is, so that TikTok came up on my feed and I was like, this is weird. Like Brittany's acting really weird. Why is she acting like that? So I went in the comments, Matt, and that's where I saw everyone saying like, we need to save you. Tell us if you need help. So she, not only did she wear a yellow shirt though, you know how like, so the TikTok is like, she walks up to the phone, like
With
she
her
walks up to the
flowers.
camera with a bouquet of flowers, and then she just keeps walking back and forth in front of the camera in her yellow shirt. And then she posted on Instagram, she said, I posted a new TikTok. Like, I love this bouquet of flowers this company sent to me. I especially love the yellow flowers in the bouquet. So people think that not only did she wear a yellow shirt, she also like purposely wrote about the yellow flowers in the caption to signal to people like she needs help.
Yeah, it's
wow.
crazy. I mean, I don't really know what people can do, like, besides spread awareness.
So yeah, at least be aware of the situation.
Yeah, just spread it out. But
And she hasn't posted anything with her kids. Like I remember I used to follow her last year and she would always every day post Instagram stories and posts of her kids and birthday parties for them and them hanging out at the house with her boyfriend, like everyday stuff. But now nothing. And
that's the other thing. They went to trial because of this, because supposedly the father, they say he's abusive, he's an alcoholic, and supposedly he was abusive towards the children. And now Brittany's baby daddy has like 70% of the custody, and she only
What
has
was
30.
that guy's name?
Kevin something.
Is it Kevin Federline?
Federline. Yeah, Federline. That's who it was.
Her backup there.
Was it really her backup dancer?
I believe so.
Yeah. I think Kevin Federline went on tours with her as a backup dancer, and then something happened from there.
And backed up dancing. I don't
And
know.
they had kids.
That's a bad joke, but yeah.
People think that the 2007 thing where she shaved her head was also a sign to like let people know that she's in trouble. And there's apparently a leak. Did you hear this, Matt? There's apparently a leaked audio recording of her saying that she, or no, of an interview with the hairstylist that shaved her head that year. And they said, what did Britney tell you? Like, did she tell you why she wants to shave her head or anything? And the hairstylist said, all she said was, I'm tired of these people pulling my hair constantly and abusing it. So I just want it to be gone so they could leave me alone. So they think she's even been like,
I feel bad for her. She can't do any live interviews anymore. And
you know what? Like Britney Spears for me is a little bit different because I remember when she blew up.
yeah.
Okay? You guys were, I think it was like 97. Was 97?
We were non-existent.
I was born.
You were just born. Arta was like 2 or 3 years old. Mata, you were non-existent, like you said. But
I wasn't even a thought at that
I
point.
remember in elementary school, everybody brought their little teen pop magazines, and it was all Britney Spears. Everybody's listening to Britney Spears on their cassette players.
I had one of those.
Yeah.
Me too.
So
What are those?
yeah, what are those? So I remember when she blew up, and she was the thing. It was her. It was the rivalry between her, Christina Aguilera, and Mariah Carey.
It's Britney, bitch. It'll always be Britney.
I don't know. At the time, Christina kind of had her number. So yeah, I remember, and that's crazy how now that I think back at it, maybe she's just been like manipulated and controlled by all these people from the time.
I don't blame her though. If I had went through something and I was already okay, let's just give her the benefit of the doubt and say she's bipolar. I don't think it helps.
Right.
And one more point before we move on to the next theory, because I know we have different ones. I also saw a post saying that, how in all her old music videos, like Hit Me Baby One More Time and Toxic and all those, she was always dressed as a schoolgirl. And they think it's because like her dad and managers and everyone wanted to kind of show her and fetishize her being like a schoolgirl and being manipulated in that way, which is why she cut her hair off. I don't know. It's just.
So her first.
I'm gonna say one last thing before we move on to the next theory. They said the doctor said that she had dementia, and that's what her dad, took over everything for her. And they sent her on a world tour after, doing like crazy acts, everything on stage, but yet she has dementia. So
guys, think about it. 18 years old. Her first song, Baby One More Time, went 14 times platinum. First song.
Yeah, that fame's gonna get to your head eventually.
And then a year later, Oops, I Did It Again, and that one went platinum too. And then so on and so forth. So she's been famous for more than half her life. Basically her adult life, and what you guys are saying is that she's been manipulated basically as a child and now as an adult, as a legal adult. But anyway, I think the Britney conspiracy theory, you could go on for hours about this.
Okay, but let's lower this down. Do you guys believe it?
I 100% believe it, because even if you look at her posts, she doesn't look healthy. She doesn't look happy.
Her eyes are dilated in half.
She doesn't even look like herself. Like if you look at photos of her, you won't recognize the same person years ago who would perform and do all this. So I believe it. I feel like we need to do something to help her. I don't know how the public can do something, and all we could do is speak out about it, but I believe it.
No, I believe it too. Like Arash brought up, there's been a lot of cases of parents, abusing their, kids or celebrity status and whatnot and making a dime or profit off of it. So I wouldn't put it past him, especially if he's invoked a lot of past traumas and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, all his other kids, his other daughter from Zoe 101, she was also in like the whole Hollywood scheme. I think it's definitely
a believable story there.
Yeah.
Well, we hope her the best.
A lot to unpack. And then there's other celebrity conspiracy theories. What kind of theories are you guys thinking over there?
I can go. Mine is I have one that, so we kind of debated about this last night in our group chat actually, and I thought this was an interesting one because I feel like our audience and our listeners can debate about this themselves and see if they believe it or not. And Arash is over here laughing. I'm not sure why, but
because my comments on that I don't think allowed you to sleep yesterday.
Yeah, he was making some cryptic comments, and when I tell you guys I had to sleep with 90 Day Fiancé on my TV because I couldn't sleep. And I actually woke up at 3 a.m. feared for my life because I thought I was like being watched or something. Like
I definitely didn't read the group chat, so I'm really excited to see what this is going to be
when
about.
I say these things affect me and I can't sleep, or actually I really didn't sleep. So
I slept
way to go.
So that's how we're gonna start this. So my theory is, I think a lot of people have heard this one, is simulation theory. So this is a theory that people believe that we're actually living in an advanced digital simulation that other people from future generations are controlling. Okay, so this theory is saying that we're controlled by a computer simulation that is actually like overlooked and controlled by a higher form of intelligence, and that the things that we think are real and material actually aren't real and material, right? So we just think they are, but that's not how it is. Where everything we do, everything that's in front of us, none of it is real. It's all just put there by the higher form of intelligence, and we're controlled literally like a computer game.
So basically, we're in the Matrix.
Kind of, yeah. So I have this one excerpt of a physicist, and I thought this was really interesting. So I'm going to read it for you guys. It says, really think about this. Ready? Reality is what we take to be true. Okay. And what we take to be true is what we believe. And what we believe is based upon our perceptions. And what we perceive depends on what we look for. And what we look for depends on what we think. And what we think depends on what we perceive. And what we perceive determines what we believe. And what we believe determines what we take to be true. And what we take to be true is our reality.
I want whatever this guy was on when he was writing this.
Right?
You're gonna have to write that down for us.
Yeah, I know it's a lot, but go back and listen to it again if for our listeners, if you want to hear it again. But I thought that was crazy, and I read that last night before I went to bed. And when I tell you I did not sleep, because I was like, "What's sleep? Is it real? Is it not real? Do I think I have to sleep?" Because
And I had a comment about sleep too.
Yeah, do I think we'll get to that? Do I think I have to sleep because like I believe that sleep makes me more energized, but do I have to do it? Do I only do it because I think I have to? Oh my God, I went through like a whole downward spiral.
Are California rolls even real?
Yeah, like is
Right?
sushi real? Like, do we think it's real because it's in front of us? Is it not real? Like, is it in another dimension? Like, what's going on here? But
all I'm saying is if there's a higher power and this is what they decide to do.
To mess with us?
I don't know.
Like,
So, okay, let me read this one part for you guys because I thought this was interesting, and then I want to know what you guys think. So there was a paper in 2003. It was called "Are You Living in a Computer Simulation?" by a Swedish philosopher. And he was saying that future generations have mega computers that have better capabilities than the technology we have. So they're far more advanced. And they can run detailed simulations of people before them called ancestor simulations. So they're simulating their ancestors and running all the details in their life, which would be us. So we're being controlled by like a future generation. And that there's also details that they need to keep track of, such as birds and cars, like any observations, anything that happens. They can even simulate the details of it. And if there's like a breakdown in the simulation, like a car crash or a bird dies or something, whoever's controlling it can edit the states of our brains if we were in that breakdown to forget about it or just not be aware of it, to not spoil what happens. Or
It's basically like eject the tape, rewind it, put it back in, start play again.
Yeah, or it says the director of the simulations can skip back a few seconds and rerun it in a way that it would avoid the problem. So let's unpack this here.
Maybe that's why like some people think they have like a guardian angel or like deja vu. Like I wonder if that all like has to do with
Okay, so what you're saying is that if your destiny in this simulation is to get hit by a bus today at noon, that bus is gonna find you one way or another.
Oh, okay, so
this is
I don't know.
Final Destination stuff,
right? Remember, the Final Destination was
your death is like predestined. So whatever you do, it doesn't matter because it's gonna happen unless you change.
You can't
something.
escape it.
I think it's 50-50. I think certain things are put in front of us, or like when you're driving, you see a certain billboard or a certain sign, or like when you're reading something, a certain line of it pops out to you, or you think to go to a certain restaurant at a certain time. I think certain things are put into our life at a certain moment in time, and then what we decide to do with it, whether we notice it or not, or make connections of why that's important, determines our next move. Right? Kind of like in movies, right? When you watch like crime or like any movies, like the character's walking and he sees a sign, and then you as the viewer know that sign that he's seeing is on purpose because it connects to something else that's happening in the movie. And if the person walking down the street in that movie connected the dots, he could solve the mystery. But he doesn't know that. We know that as the viewers.
They'll drop like a subtle hint or clue to then help you, like foreshadowing for later.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
No, I want to believe it, but I also think there's a lot of things that people are like, oh, this is a sign, but it's just a coincidence. Like there's so much that's happening throughout this world that.
Well, what do you think the purpose of these future generations is? What do you think the purpose is to work on these simulations for these past people to maybe reach to the level that they're at now, to give them maybe a help, a path?
Or just to experiment to see how humans would react, like how older generations of humans would react to all types of scenarios. It's very complex. I don't know, but I don't believe that everything is planned out for us. I think that it's certain things that are put in a certain time. It's like when you, I don't know, when you go to a restaurant and then like at that time you happen to meet somebody and that person ends up being interesting in your life.
What you have control over is the decision that's in front of you.
Yeah.
And the decision you make opens up more decisions down the line. I was talking to my friend yesterday about this because there was a video released of some gang executions down in South America. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we were talking about it and we said, what decision did you make 1,000 decisions ago that brought you here?
Oh, okay.
I couldn't even remember that.
Right. You can't remember. Like where did you make the incorrect decision that started a series of more incorrect decisions that brought you here to be executed gang member style?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to think about those things as well.
Yeah.
So
if I'm ever executed gang member style, I'll give it a thought. I'll let you know.
Yeah. No. Just put yourself in that person's shoes and think about how many decisions they chose the wrong path to get to where they are.
But we also don't have a perception of our future, right? So I'm sure if he knew it was that one decision was gonna turn into a downward spiral of all that. So that's why we all make mistakes, because we don't know what's gonna happen. We just take the risk and we make certain rash decisions, and what happens.
I mean, as humans, we're keen to trial and error. So we're not perfect at everything. So we'll attempt something, we'll make a decision, and if it didn't work out, then you go back to the drawing board, make more decisions.
Is it us attempting it and deciding it, or is it the simulation controlling us to make us attempt it and decide to do it?
You guys remember the movie Avatar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, the humans were in that little, machine.
The one with the tree, right?
Right.
The
one with the tree. It was interesting because they were controlling the avatars.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That might be how we are. Someone is just controlling us, just like Armagon said.
I don't know.
So we're just a surrogate to some outside worldly.
But then that's where religion comes in, because
I was just going to say like a god.
Religion comes in because it wants to, what's the word I'm looking for? Alleviate the fears of the unknown.
Yeah.
Or try to tame it.
Try to tame it. It's like, okay, I don't understand the concept of deep space, and space has no ending and there's no limit, and it just goes and goes and goes and goes. It's a lot to comprehend. But then when you bring religion into it, it puts it into a nice box.
We'll simplify. We'll just say, well, God made it and he intended to make it that way.
Right. And then you just move on with it without any more critical thinking.
See, for some reason, like how Amaran said she couldn't sleep that night because of this whole idea that was in her head. That stuff like does not faze me at all. Like, I'm not someone that cares whether like, oh, is this religion? Like, did this really, really happen? Or did that really, like, I don't care.
Well, I don't think talking about religion. I just think about like when you start thinking about the vastness of space and what's really out there.
See, I don't know why, but like I just like I'm open to life. I know I'm not going to find an answer, so
I don't think about the religion part that doesn't make me sleep, because I believe in God, and I believe also, aside from the computer simulation thing, I think God puts certain things in our life for certain reasons, whether it's for lessons or for benefiting us. Whatever.
Or was it the simulation?
No, I think it's simulation. I don't know. That's why I'm saying I'm 50-50 on the theory.
No, when I'm talking about religion, I mean like, you know, some people really try to bring pinpoint every type of religion.
Every aspect of life they try to tie to religion. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm saying what made me lose sleep last night, because Arash Arash was saying like, what if your dreams are your real life, right? So that freaked me out.
Right. I'm saying all in all, none of that really phases me at all, which I don't know if it's such strange, but
No, I
I
think
would
that's
never
better
like
if it
think
doesn't
twice
phase.
about it.
I think it's better if it doesn't phase you because you don't have to worry about it. You
Yeah,
don't
I'm like numb to it all.
But for me, what also scares me is the fact that like we are sitting in houses right now in a floating being. Like Earth is literally just floating, right? Like in the middle of nowhere in space. Like sometimes that freaks me out. I'm like, we're like little ants that are running around trying to make sure we get to work on time and do what we need to do to make money and eat, and like we're literally just floating in the universe. And like, what is it all
So
for?
fluff.
Like, what are we
Right.
here for, right? Like we worry about things all day long and have stress and this and that and have fun at times, and then like, what is it, what for what? Like, what's our purpose? You know, something to think about.
To
Okay.
fuel the economy.
So let's go around. Arta, believable?
I feel like maybe in some aspects it could be believable, but I think someone sitting maybe behind a computer, controlling you on the, computer.
Like
I
a
don't think
Sims.
right.
Good sense.
Like you're being controlled on every aspect. I feel like maybe they might try to guide you if you're like alleviating to the wrong direction, but I don't think they'll provide all the answers for you. So maybe half, I guess. I'll go on that.
Okay. Nata, what about you?
No, I don't think we're that important enough that like a higher power, future generations would want to like care about that. Like, who cares?
Consider this. If another life form finds us,
Hmm.
okay, that is terrifying
Mm-hmm.
because that means they are way more advanced than us.
Yeah,
Okay. It could also go the other way around. We might find another life form.
that we're more advanced than. I don't know, man.
I feel like the person who finds the life form that finds the other life form is the more advanced one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
If I found you, there's a reason. Like
Depends on what you consider advancement,
No,
like, yeah,
advanced.
we were
Like,
able to build
I had the
something to get to
technology.
them, but they
I
could,
had the brain power to go out, hundreds of thousands of light years away, millions of light years away to find you.
right.
But hold on. Do you, before we get into that whole other situation, do you believe in what I was saying? We got to get all around
Do I believe in what you were saying? I will answer it like I did the first one. It is believable.
believable. Okay, same thing I'm saying, like 50-50. I don't know if it's necessarily the simulations controlled by future generations, could be controlled by God or some other form. I don't know.
some divine power, maybe.
So,
Maybe it's controlled by aliens. Who knows?
who knows? So, Arta, please tell me you have something lighter.
I don't know. It doesn't phase me. Give me something that's gonna.
This one isn't too complex, but this is something that I was like interested about years ago, and I never really like looked much into it, but I always would hear it sometimes. So mine's about the whole water fluoridation conspiracy or controversy. Basically, the government putting fluoride in our water, or drinking water.
How does that affect us?
Well, I'll start off with saying that this was first introduced in around the 1940s, and in the 1950s and 60s is when some controversy and conspiracy theorists emerged from it, saying that this was during the whole Cold War with Russia, the whole Red Scare or whatever, and they were saying that actually the fluoride was being used by communists to plot the undermine of American public health. So yeah, wild, right? I mean,
Very
you're in
wild.
America,
Yeah.
to think that another governing body is affecting your own water supply. It's like, well, who's enforcing this, maintaining this? So the claims is that with the whole fluoride in the water, the conspiracy theorist claims that repeated doses of infinitesimal amounts of fluoride will in time reduce an individual's power to resist domination by slowly poisoning and narcotizing a certain area of the brain and make them submissive to control. So it's not all at once, but over time, the little minuscule amounts that is in the water that you're, consuming over time, it just makes it easier for anybody to kind of control your actions and thoughts. So that was the link to theorists that thought that that the Russians were involved in this. Also, they were saying that the fluoride in the water was linked to bone cancer, osteosarcoma, but that was never proven because, it enhances the calcium in our bones. And they're saying that, well, you're putting too much in it and that it's,
Well, I'm reading here the American Dental Association loves the fluoride in the water.
What?
Well, yeah, no.
Great for your teeth.
Okay. Well, yeah, fluoride's in like all our, toothpaste and mouthwashes. So there is a good amount of people that say that fluoride in general is not harmful to us. But then there's the theorists that say that, even though it's not a lot at once that you're consuming, over time, you're kind of stupefying your brain or making it easier for people to sway you on different topics or whatever. And so I thought that was interesting. And that there was, and I'll link it back to Florida, Great Old Florida, that around the time the theorists were going around, that there was direct impact on local programs in Florida where they want to make referendums on introducing the fluoride, and that like 1,000 communities rejected the notion, like, no, we don't want, the government to control our water systems. We want to be able to know what's in it and what's not. And you can't choose your water, right? Like you can't, unless you go and buy expensive bottled water, but not a lot of people have access to that. So there's just something interesting, like the government has access or control to what they put in our water, and like maybe the long-term effects can be damaging.
So what you're saying is the admins of the simulation that we're living in are controlling our water supply.
I was just going to say, they put the fluoride in the water so that the simulation people can mind control us better.
And Britney Spears is getting double the amount of fluoride.
Double dose.
For Britney,
Yeah. Okay, we got it.
So what do we think? What do you think about this? I don't know if you guys heard about this before or not.
I have, it kind of goes along with the chemtrails theory with the airplanes.
Around
The what?
chemtrails, the planes that you see in the sky that have like the trail of smoke.
It's right outwards and stuff.
It's shown as the powers that be say is condensation coming off the airplane.
Okay,
that's the powers that be. Conspiracy theorists are saying that it's chemicals like for mind control, right?
In a sense, yeah.
Right. So I don't know too much about it, but I think the fluoride just kind of is in the same category as that. Where
so we're finding some common ground here: government and mind control.
I believe bits and pieces of what you just said. And 90% of the time, if it has to do with the government doing some sketchy shit, I believe it. As
do I, because we don't know what the hell goes on.
Yeah, if the government is involved, I believe, in any government. And I almost want to think there's like, you guys remember the show Scandal? Did you guys ever watch that?
Yes, such a good show.
Okay, so remember Command?
Yes.
Controlling everything in the background. There's an undercover world government controlling everything. That's another theory that
they leak one out of like 1,000 things. Right. They leak like one of 1,000 things that actually happens in the government, and everyone's like mind blown, and they're like, fuck the government, like blah blah blah, like let's protest. So like, I believe that there's so much worse things they do. I mean, they kill people for like
Command would do things the president wouldn't even know about in the show. So there's a higher being than the president.
Spoiler alert, they killed his son so he could win the presidency.
Exactly. And he didn't even know that. The president didn't even know that. So imagine all the things we see and hear about that we don't know the reasoning why it's happening. We think it's so random, but Command, quote, wink, quote unquote, has reasonings for it. So
there's that. And then speaking of Scandal, I guess Olivia Pope's dad in the show, I forget his name. I only remember him from being the head scientist in Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
I've never
I have to look that one up.
Great movie, by the way.
Great movie. One of those few that I think was better than the first one.
Oh yeah, 100.
Because remember, Terminator 1, Schwarzenegger was the villain.
I haven't seen, so I can't comment.
And then Terminator 2, he was the hero.
And then we don't talk about 3.
Yeah, it just went downhill after that. But anyway.
Mata believes if it has to do with the government, it's believable.
For the most part, if they're doing some sketchy shit, I believe it.
So I believe that the government is doing some sketchy stuff, but I don't know if I believe that they put fluoride in the water. But I have never ever had tap water.
Oh, no. Fluoride in the water is definitely happening. Like
it's now. Happening.
No, that's a thing.
The reasoning behind it, you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I believe bits and pieces of it, but I don't know about the specifics.
I don't know if
now you want to consider can these things that they're doing actually control your mind?
Yes. Well,
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. I definitely think there's some stuff in the water because I never other than fluoride, I never drink tap water, so I believe that they put some crap in there
in the fridge. And
hey, but when you're in Iran, you drink it straight from the tap because that water is delicious in Iran.
No, I don't. I boil
I
it.
do.
What?
I
You're
do.
wild. I mean, for like the first month I'm there, which, I'm only there for like 2 or 3 months, everyone's like, you can't drink this. You're going to get sick. You're going to like go to the hospital and you're going to die.
Are you kidding me? Tehran's water is like one of the best waters.
No, you get that Damovan from the corner shop,
And then I boil it too.
buy a little tofu shansi while you're at it. And
I don't think the water in Iran itself is the problem. I think like coming out of the pipes and stuff, they're just so old and corroded and rusted.
That's a different conversation.
Like all the stuff that's coming through it is you're also consuming that with it.
But nothing hits better than the water when you're like in the mountains in Iran and you're like traveling with your family and you see those like little poles. I don't even know what you want to call them. And everyone just grabs their water bottle and goes fills it up. That water
fresh
hits
water.
Icy cold.
I'll drink the spring water fresh from the source in Iran.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So all right. So everybody says this is, if the government involved, it's somewhat believable.
Do you believe it? You.
I believe.
That's your opinion too.
I believe that the government does a lot of things to control the masses. I don't know about mind. I can't go as far as mind control. Okay.
They mind control you in other ways.
Yeah, like maybe they just put things in front of you that just make you think a certain way.
Like TV, things you see on TV.
Right, you're freely thinking, but because of what's in front of you, you're forced to kind of like think.
Mean, even our education system, that's mind
control. Oh
yeah,
the whitewashed education system. Yeah, that one.
Well, based off this simulation, I don't think there's any free thinking, my friend.
That's true too. So
50-50.
All right.
And if there is, you get parents like Britney's and.
So it's a great transition when you say 50-50. Shout out to my favorite rapper of all time, 50 Cent. We'll talk about another rapper, Tupac.
Okay.
Is Tupac alive?
The burning question we all want to know.
So the theories are out there. The theories are definitely out there. One thing you have to, so we have to decide why he decided, if he did, to fake his own death, right? What was his motive? Because we know of other celebrities and other,
Jeffrey
famous.
Epstein.
Well, no, that he was murdered.
I think he's alive.
Okay, that's another thing. But let's go with that's still fresh, so it still hasn't come out.
Let's go with something that they've tried to like look into.
So, for example. Right. What's his motive? We know, for example, there's theories about Adolf Hitler not actually killing himself and fleeing to Argentina and living there until he was about 80-something years old. Okay, there's pictures, whether it's him or a doppelganger, but we know his motive. Okay, he was a criminal. He was a murderer. He all these things that he did. We know the motive of him running to hide in Argentina. Yeah. And living under a different name for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Right?
That he must have heard about the wine. The wineries there.
Maybe. But we know the motive.
Okay, so before you get
what is Tupac's motive?
Well, didn't he have like a hit on him? Like the East Coast was trying to get a hit on him because he just said
there's so many theories about him. Okay, the first is that he started calling himself Machiavelli, okay, which is homage to the Italian philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli.
Okay.
All right. Now, the anagram of Machiavelli, some people believe that it means Mac alive. Okay. So his album, The Don Killuminati, is a theory of what happens after his death, and that he's going to come back at some point and just reappear, not come back from the dead, but come back from his fake death.
But why would he fake die? Like,
right.
So think he would actually come back though? I
don't know. So like Suge Knight, which not the most, reputable source, said that, he was wearing a bulletproof vest. And then on the way to the hospital, he was laughing and everything after he got shot. And then he actually believes that Tupac is living in Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Yeah, that's one theory. And then you have another theory. This is, I think, the most common one, is that he's in Cuba somewhere, just in a small town, living like a simple life.
I would believe that.
Okay. Now, a lot of people say, we've seen him around. Could it be him? Could it just be a doppelganger? We don't know.
Could it be a simulation?
So is Cuba.
Okay. Some people say he just left to Mexico. Okay.
This is crazy. I've never heard this.
Or he went to Belize. Or some people say he's just hiding.
He went to Iran.
Living in Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Or
there's no way he's living in Kentucky.
Right. And then people say, he's hiding in plain sight. Someone literally said there's a picture of him at the Occupy Wall Street protest.
No way.
Yeah. And then celebrities also think he's alive.
No way.
Like who?
Like, for example, Beyonce, 50, all these people, they think that he's alive. And some people just say, no, he faked his death because he didn't want people to know that he's spending life in prison in LA.
Do you think
What?
maybe like his inner circle might have like a clue, or have they ever questioned anyone close to him, their thoughts?
I'm sure they have. I mean, it's just so much to take in. But what is his motive?
I definitely don't think he's in jail in LA. I don't think they would let
I don't
that
believe the jail stuff either.
I believe if he would be in Cuba or Belize, because I went to Belize, and let me tell you, it's very easy to just live a simple life there and not ever be noticed by people, because the way of life there is so different. I mean, at least the parts I went to was very just in the middle of nowhere, like little islands that you would never find.
Right. I mean, and he could blend again. These pictures could just be doppelgangers, because everybody has a doppelganger.
It's so exciting.
I saw a website actually, so I don't know if it's real or not, but you upload like a picture of yourself. This could also be for data collection, but you upload a picture of yourself and it shows you people around the world that look exactly like you and their names and age.
Right. It's crazy.
That's insane to me already. But on the doppelganger thing, like I saw a photo last year. Apparently Steve Jobs is alive and well, living in Egypt, wearing like
I don't believe the Steve Jobs thing. I think he believed in Eastern medicine, and he didn't take any actual Western medicine cancer treatment, and he just croaked.
Yeah.
Okay.
His cancer was pretty severe.
Yeah.
People think that because in an interview he said he loves Egypt and he would love to just live the simple life, and that Apple was getting too big, so he just faked his death and went to Egypt.
Based off what I've seen on him, I mean, I don't know. He seemed like way too much into his work and in it for certain things, so I don't think he would just let that all go.
I don't believe it, but I'm saying like what Arash is saying, like maybe someone was after Tupac besides.
Well, I mean, he did it. I mean, there was the East Coast, West Coast.
I know, but I'm saying apart from that, like he was just, I don't know, being black.
But maybe with the Steve Jobs thing, a motive is, well, he was gaining so much popularity and he just maybe didn't want that at the time, and he just faked it to just escape from all that.
Yeah.
So, and it's similar in terms of the celebrity status, right? For lack of a better term. Again, I go back to like these strong theories that Hitler lived his entire life in Argentina, and only a few people knew about it. Okay. But again, it goes back. We know his motive. What
exactly.
Is motive?
Exactly.
Did he just not want to be in the limelight anymore? Did he want to disappear for 25 years? And come back? Because he died in 96, 97? I forget the exact year.
But would he like Matt to
he's not coming back to any happy faces.
Yeah, he wouldn't. I feel like if that's the situation, he won't come back. He'll just live his life wherever he is in peace.
There's no reason to come back.
No, but people are saying there's clues in his music.
Okay,
I think he would have changed his mind. I think if you're already living such he's already had one taste of life. If he's having the other taste, I think he would stay where he is,
he had all this unreleased music, and that once the music started getting released after his death, people listened to it. Again, it's all conspiracy. It's all, what I think he's meaning here is, especially that one album, the Don Illuminati, talks about, that he's going to come back on a day that has to do with the number 7, and the path on which he's going to come back. It's in depth. But that's if you're thinking with that mindset.
Well, it's July, the 7th month of the year. So Tupac, if you hear this and you want to come back, like now is the time. It's the 7th month of the year.
I think 2020 is the year for that to happen.
2020 is the epic year. If he wants to come back with the number 7 in the month of July, like give us something good in 2020.
This has been the most, I feel like the World War III thing was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, like we are tired of this. Give us something exciting. Like come back.
To me, Kobe died 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we had the murder hornets?
Yeah. Oh my God, the murder hornets. Let's talk about the freaking eggplants falling from the sky in Iran. Did you guys see that?
Oh, yeah. That was, oh my God. Yeah, that was
insane. There was video in like April while people in
I remember that.
In Iran, video footage of eggplants falling from the sky.
Like actual eggplants.
Yeah.
So this year cannot get any weirder. And I say that timidly. Okay. So let's ask the room. Mata, is Tupac alive? And if he faked his own death, why did he fake it?
I honestly don't know enough about. I haven't watched too much about it.
Okay,
based off what you're saying,
the conspiracy theories, yeah.
Right. Based off what you're saying, there wasn't a lot of factual things that could have swayed me towards it. So I don't know if he's still alive. But I think if he is, I don't think he's gonna come back.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe he even died, like again, like God forbid, you know, if he is alive. But maybe, you know,
He would have.
did
I
live
think
his
he would have
life,
been 49 this year.
But
He died
I
young.
don't
He
think
was
he'll
what,
come
25,
back.
26 when he
Yeah,
died.
he died very young. Yeah, that's why it was so shocking to see.
Well, and then Biggie died right after him. He was around the same age too. But I think Biggie died on the scene, so that's why there's really no theories about him.
He died in the hospital, right? He was still alive. They brought him.
Yeah, Tupac
hospital.
died in the hospital, quote unquote. So Arta, what do you think?
I feel like if I do say yes, then I have to also say yes to all the other celebrities that died, and you know there might be, and I feel like that's just way too many people just freely living around that, you know, just going
I
unnoticed.
just wanted to get out of the limelight.
Yeah, I mean, maybe at that time that was the only way to do it. You know, now you want to get out of the limelight, you just delete your Instagram, you know. But then I guess, yeah.
No, but then there's people know where you live. It's paparazzi. I mean, if
and no one's ever gonna treat you the same, you know.
to fake your own
You're
death
always
means
gonna be-
that Tupac Shakur is no longer alive. He's assumed another name.
Right.
Assumed
That identity is no longer existent.
Move
right?
to a different. You have to move to a different country. Okay. Especially a country and then you have to live in a small town, okay? Because back in the 90s, there wasn't a person who didn't know about Tupac,
Yeah.
dead or
That's true.
alive.
Even to this day, even in Iran, they know his name. And
still
You
stuff.
know about Tupac,
Yeah.
okay? If Tupac was alive right now, he would dwarf Drake's popularity,
Oh yeah, for sure.
okay? So an absolute megastar for good reasons and bad reasons. Not that he did anything bad, just, you know, the beef between East and West.
Right.
So Armand, what do you think?
Again, I don't know enough facts about this, but okay, I think he's dead. But if he was alive, I think the reason that he would run away was because he was just getting too popular to the point where he knew it would be dangerous for his own life, and he wanted to just live the simple life, and he had his taste of fame and didn't want it anymore.
That's what I'm saying, and I don't think he would come back.
And I don't think he would come back. And also, if he was alive, I feel like wouldn't the people at the hospital or the people in the ambulance with him like all speak out about it or say something? Like, did he make them all sign?
You would think
NDA
that,
or
but there's a lot of things that people should have spoken out about, but they make them right up. You
Was-
know,
was
Be like,
it-
you know,
was
with
it
all
the
this
ambu-
money I have now, have at it.
Did
Sign
he
it.
actually go to that? Did he actually get in the ambulance? Was the ambulance switched out with someone else? Was the ambulance even a real one? You got to think about all these different things.
Okay,
Take him to
see,
a real hospital.
I need to read more about it, but right now I think he's dead. And if
It
he
could have been a
was-
body double that got sent to the hospital, and they switched the ambulances, you know, one way or another.
I just don't know too much about the situation.
I don't
can
either.
talk
I
about
want you
every
guys
death.
because I kind of like most of my Tupac listening was after he died. Okay, I was I think 7 or 8 when he died, but I kind of remember, you know, everybody it was all over the news.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then Biggie happened not too long after that.
Do
he
you
has
have
great-
do you
Go
have like little clips or like things that he said in that album that was released after he died that
I'm
people?
not off the top of my head. I haven't listened to that album in a long, long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there
So
might be some subliminal messages.
Yeah.
yeah. So and then there's one theory that I was reading was that that he's still releasing music now
Under a different
different
name.
name.
under the
different
same
artists.
name. Under the same name. It's just people are boasting it. Maybe like not right now, maybe like 10 years ago, saying it was just unreleased music that we found. But then they're saying that like the change in his voice, of his voice getting older, they could
Sounded more
kinda hear
mature,
it.
right?
So, you know, a lot to
That's
think
crazy.
about. So
Yeah.
I will answer it the same way. If Tupac comes back tomorrow and says, I am here, I won't think it's a resurrection. I'll just think that he faked his own death. And it's a believable thing.
I'll think he's listening to our podcast in the middle of
Let's
Belize.
Let's hope.
Where do you
Now is the time. Thank you, Monday Noosh. I can now emerge from the
But
shadow.
to me, the most believable thing is that, because I saw some pictures of this, again, it could be a doppelganger, is that he's living in a small town in Cuba.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you think he's alive. Where do you think he is? Cuba. right?
Cuba.
I've heard the Cuba one a lot.
So, what other conspiracy theories do we have? Or we're kind of conspiracied out for the day.
I have one relating to Tupac one. So if you believe that Tupac maybe faked his own death, what are your thoughts maybe on the whole Michael Jackson thing?
If he didn't die the way that it was portrayed that he died, which was accidental overdose,
right?
I think he was killed because of the vile human being that he turned out to be.
I think
so
he
the
was killed too.
doctor went intentionally to commit that murder.
Whomever
I
it
was about to
was,
say it's definitely murder.
I think because he was such a despicable human being. And this is one of those where you have to be able to separate, if you want to, the art from the artist. Okay.
Yeah.
You kind of get what you listen to his music, and it's incredible music. Okay?
Right.
But that's
Incredible.
different from the person that he is.
Right. It's different from the person that he is. The person that he was, he's an alleged child molester.
Right.
Okay.
And I think during that was the whole during that time when that was emerging, and I think maybe if he did fake his death, he was trying to escape
And then
that.
the Jeffrey Epstein thing, I think the facts, not facts, but stories that have come out thus far about him, he was murdered for bipartisan reasons.
Yep.
I think
They
that's
either had Prince
They-
Andrew's
they had
people
to.
had him killed
that's-
or something,
yeah.
or
yeah. That's the first time that I think both sides of the aisle were like okay with him getting murdered.
Right. One was because, okay, he's a piece of shit and he deserves to die. And the other side's probably like, okay, he's might leak
He
things
had
to get
notes
less.
he
on
knows
everybody.
way too much and he's not afraid to say it.
He had notes. He had his guest list. He had notes. He had a paper trail of who would go to his child molester island, whatever it was called.
Almost anybody and everybody would travel with him on his private jets and stuff to these different locations.
Yeah. So that's a bipartisan murder.
And now with his ex-girlfriend or whatever, they're saying that they have they have paper clothes for her and paper blankets so that she doesn't attempt to commit suicide in her jail cell with clothing. So they gave her paper clothing.
Suicide.
Quote unquote suicide. Yeah. So
Hey man, whatever.
He also said that
But-
she had COVID, so
of course she had COVID. That's
I don't
the
think
easiest.
they're gonna make the same mistake twice and leave him unattended for a duration of time, or her. I should say.
Yeah, we could go on and find different conspiracy theories, but we don't want to give our listeners too much.
We don't want to go outside the realm of reality. We want to stay grounded.
So
They already got 6 different ones to unpack after listening to this.
they're not gonna sleep for a while.
Yeah.
yes, so read it up, and let us know. We're gonna put up a poll in our social medias this week, and we want to know your best conspiracy theories and what you think of the ones that we mentioned today. Now let's get back to what we were talking about earlier.
We made a little
Alan.
teaser earlier.
This challenge. So
Oh God.
I propose that we all run 3 miles a day.
Actually, that was my challenge, but per usual, take my watermelon juice idea, take my challenge idea.
Samantha, first of all,
Dun, dun, dun.
Samantha, you said 5 miles.
I said 5, and I'm not gonna hurt any feelings, but some people thought that was a little too much. So then I somehow negotiated to 3.
I don't mind if you guys want to run the 3 miles, and I'll bike 10.
No, the challenge
the whole
has to.
challenge is that it's supposed to be a challenge. We already know you can bike 10 miles. It's a challenge.
Let me just say though, okay, I'm down for this. 3 isn't that bad. I've done 5 before, but I can't run the whole thing. I'll jog it.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I can't expect you to do a full-on sprint for 3 miles.
Okay.
How fast you do it doesn't matter. Just get it done, I
You
guess.
just
Get
have
it
to
done.
get it done.
Okay. Does it
Whether
treadmill
it's
count?
running, jogging, a fast-paced walk, all meshed together, that's fine.
So I think if we're gonna
Biking is
do that-
nowhere included.
I think if we're gonna do that daily challenge, there's got to be a way to enforce that we all do it, right? So I propose maybe we should all download some kind of tracking app that we can post daily, maybe to our listeners to see our daily progress.
Maybe we could get some funny footage of all of us attempting to run the 3 miles and what we look like after running the 3 miles.
Oh, I will say we're in Florida and we're in the midst of a very high heat crisis.
It's
Yeah.
hot out here, boy.
So
Be
we
considerate.
try our very best. Actually, currently, as we're speaking, it's raining. So maybe.
So I just want to point out that Florida weather, as per usual, when we sat down to start doing this recording, it was pouring outside. During Mahta and Arta's conspiracy, it was nice and sunny, and now it is a torrential downpour again.
Is it really? It's so sunny here. It's so nice outside.
Cloudy over
Just
here.
wait.
Maybe this falls back to the simulation.
So anyway, okay, that's our challenge. 3 miles a day until our
And-
next recording.
And listeners, if you guys have time and you want to do the challenge with us, then join in on our weekly challenges from now on, and then let us know how you
Did you do it?
And
Did you
if
not?
did it, could you do it? Did you stop? What happened?
Did you do it better than Arash, even though we already know the answer?
Listen, it's the
Let
knees,
us
man.
know.
It's the
No
knees.
shade, no shade. We're all gonna
30-year-old
start
knees.
fresh.
A lot of basketball miles on these knees. So bear with me.
Well,
So we want to thank everybody for listening, and hopefully you guys can go ahead and drop a like, comment below.
Like, follow, subscribe, all the above.
Share.
Share.
And tell us your conspiracy theories that you believe or don't believe.
Join the challenge. You know,
And join our
fun.
challenge. Yeah.
Join it. All right, guys. Have a great week. We'll talk to you guys next Monday.
Yep.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.